forget everything you think you know about influence. It's not about charisma, persuasion, or learning clever tricks to get people to say yes. It's about something quieter, more powerful, and far rarer in today's world: presence. Because here's the paradox: the more you try to control people, the less influence you actually have. Real influence doesn't push, it pulls. And the difference between those two is the difference between manipulation and magnetism. Think about the last time someone tried to convince you of something. You could feel it. The tension in their tone, the subtle pressure in their words, the way your body wanted to lean back. Even if their argument made sense, something in you resisted. That's the hidden cost of force. The moment someone feels controlled, their trust collapses. The irony is that most people trying to be influential are actually triggering resistance. They chase persuasion techniques, mirror body language, memorize closing scripts, and wonder why it feels fake. It's not the method that fails. It's the motive. See, manipulation is rooted in fear. Fear that you're not enough on your own, that people won't listen unless you perform. But authenticity, genuine influence, Bob, begins where performance ends. So let's break this illusion of force. When you rely on pressure, you may win in the short term. You might close the deal, win the argument, or get compliance. But the victory is hollow. You trade depth for speed, trust for tension. And every time you do, you teach people to guard themselves against you. The more you push, the more they brace. Now contrast that with the people who seem to draw others in without trying. The ones who walk into a room and make everyone relax. They don't speak louder, they listen deeper. They don't dominate the conversation, they create space. Their presence communicates one thing: safety. And safety is the foundation of influence. Because biologically, trust isn't built through logic, it's built through resonance. Our mirror neurons are constantly scanning for cues: tone, micro-expressions, rhythm. They're asking, am I safe here? And when the answer is yes, the mind opens. That's when influence begins, and not before. So if manipulation erodes trust, how do you build it effortlessly? Through what I call the PERA protocol: presence, empathy, reciprocity, alignment. Let's unpack it. Presence. Most people don't listen, they wait to talk. Presence is the opposite. It's the discipline of being fully there, not performing, not planning your reply. It starts with something as simple as one conscious breath before you respond. That moment grounds your nervous system, and others feel it instantly. You become a mirror of calm in a noisy world. And calm is contagious. Empathy, not sympathy, not fixing. Empathy is curiosity without agenda. It's the ability to say, tell me more, and actually mean it. When you listen like that, people start revealing what truly drives them, their fears, hopes, motives. And when someone feels seen at that level, your influence multiplies. Because now you're not an opponent, you're an ally. Reciprocity. Humans are wired for balance. When someone helps us, we naturally want to return the gesture. That's why the most influential people give value first. They share insight, opportunity, or genuine help, with no strings attached. And the lack of expectation becomes its own magnet. The more value you create freely, the more value flows back to you. Not instantly, but inevitably. Alignment. This is the part most people skip. True influence isn't about agreement. It's about shared direction. You can disagree and still be aligned if your values intersect. That's what transforms influence from manipulation into collaboration. You're no longer pulling someone toward your goal. You're walking toward a common horizon. When you combine these four, presence, empathy, reciprocity, alignment, something profound happens. People stop feeling influenced and start feeling inspired. They begin to trust your intentions, not just your words. And that's when influence becomes effortless. Now let's address the skeptic in your head. You might think, if I stop pushing, won't I lose power? Actually, you'll gain something far more valuable: permission. Permission to be trusted, to be heard, to lead without resistance. And that's the kind of power that compounds. Because influence, like wealth, compounds through consistency. Every interaction is a deposit or a withdrawal from the trust account. When you show up with integrity, calm, curious, generous, you're adding credit. Do it long enough, and your presence alone carries weight. People will listen before you even speak. But lose that integrity, and all the deposits vanish overnight. That's why sustainable influence is a long-term game. You can't fake authenticity for long. The nervous system always knows. There's an old saying, you teach people how to treat you. Influence is the same. Through your actions, you teach people what to expect from you. If you manipulate, they defend. If you respect, they relax. And in that relaxation, cooperation grows. Let me give you a picture. Imagine two magnets facing each other. If you flip one the wrong way, they repel, no matter how close you push. But align them correctly and the attraction is effortless. That's influence. It's not about force, it's about alignment. The most magnetic people in history, from great leaders to quiet mentors, understood this. They didn't beg for attention, they embodied intention. They made others feel capable, not controlled. And people followed because they wanted to, not because they had to. So what does this mean for you? It means the next time you walk into a meeting, a conversation, or even a conflict, your goal isn't to win, it's to understand. Because understanding creates alignment, and alignment unlocks cooperation. You stop convincing and start connecting. And from that connection, influence flows on its own. Here's your challenge. For the next week, practice micropresence. Before each conversation, take one deep breath. Set aside your agenda for just 10 seconds. Notice what changes in you and in them. Watch how people start leaning in instead of pulling away. That's your nervous system learning the language of influence. And when you add empathy, genuine curiosity, that connection deepens. You'll find that you don't need to raise your voice or over-explain. People start mirroring your calm. They open up. They trust faster because you've stopped trying to prove something. You've started to be something. Over time, those moments add up. Presence becomes your reputation. Your name becomes shorthand for steadiness, clarity, and care. And that's when the shift happens. You no longer chase influence. You attract it. Because people follow those who make them feel safe in their own skin. They listen to those who listen. And they believe those who don't need to be believed. That's the quiet paradox of power. When you no longer crave control, you gain real influence. Effortless, sustainable, human.